Nevereth have I evereth disliked the character almost as instantly as I have this guy. So this episode of The Owl House was actually pretty frustrating for me. It was a bit of an emotional roller coaster for several reasons, but the main one really being that I see so much of myself in Luce as a kid, and the way I used to be as a kid, and the fantasies I wanted to go on, and man was it frustrating. Like, I'm sorry, Luce, life is gonna teach you so many hard lessons, and this episode was one of them. So starting out, it actually picks up immediately after the last episode. So in the last episode, she fell asleep. This one opens with her waking up, and she's actually worried that what happened in the previous episode was a dream. But it wasn't, so we still have a show. The world is just as fantastical and weird as you remember, and slightly underwhelming. But that doesn't matter, because King is still as cute as always, and that's not going anywhere. Yay, us. Also, she goes to the bathroom, like, immediately after, because that's what you do in the morning, you go to the restrooms. And then 2 owls come out of the bathroom, lady owls, I'm assuming, because of the sign on the door. But they were also in there with, Hootie, I think, is the name of their door. What were they doing in there? Can I get that prequel episode? I kinda wanna see that. Like, what was going on? We don't really get an answer, but whatever. She finds her book in there. She's excited to start her wizard training. Not wizard, witch training. Come on, Kevin, you sexist jerk. That's not entirely true. I don't know where I was going with that joke. I'm sorry. But moving on, so she's excited to start her witch training, and she goes into the closet and finds, like, witch clothes. She puts them on because she's excited and adorable about it. She decides to wait for Ida, and then Ida's like, oh, yeah, I kind of forgot I agreed to train you, but I guess we'll do that. Yeah. She also drops that there is a witch or magic teaching school out in the world, and that's where she got her staff from, because apparently it's like a graduation gift after you do pass, like, your witch classes. But Luce isn't going to do that. She's actually just going to become her in-house gopher, kind of, like she says apprentice, but she really just says that she's going to have her do chores. Maybe it's like a Mr. Miyagi thing, right? Wax on, wax off. If you guys get that reference. But anyway, yeah, she basically says she's gonna have her do chores the entire time, and then Lucy's like, well, it's not what I expect, but whatever, I'm gonna make the best of it, because I'm an optimist. And turns out that Ida's main hustle, like main revenue, is like selling potions, oils, and elixirs to people. But she has a lot of enemies, so she doesn't really go out and like sell them and hawk them in public. So she sends Luce out, and she's like, hey, take these potions, go out there, sell them for me, make these deliveries, and just try not to die, alright? Can you do that? Because the world's a scary place, and I'm not going to give you much advice. Also, it's the first time seeing the intro this episode, and it was fine. I enjoyed it. The animation was fun. The music was okay. You're introduced to what I'm assuming are side characters A, B, and C. Well, I would normally skip the intro. It's short enough so that I really don't feel like I have to, and that's probably a testament to the creators for being considerate. They know our time's important. Or maybe I've just been watching too much anime where they have long and expansive intros. And before we go too far from breakfast, because they did have breakfast, Ida's talking about how she drinks apple blood instead of apple juice, and I really love that. I'm more of an orange blood type of guy, but I can respect that. So Luce and King started going around the city selling the potions, trying to sell them to people. And they're having this conversation. They kind of talk about how, like, Luce is the only human on the Boiling Isles. And I can see why there wouldn't be a lot of humans there, right? But no humans? None whatsoever? That's a bit weird. I mean, you would think at some point a human will cross over, right? Like, just at some point. I mean, I don't know how long the interdimensional magic has worked, or if Ida's the only one who could do it or not. I just sort of assumed at some point someone would have come over, because they have like knowledge of humans and like at least a tenuous grasp of earthly societies. But okay, maybe there's more to it. King just says he's never seen one, so I guess we'll see. I also really like Lucy's enthusiasm and how she basically starts writing fan fiction about herself. I love that, and I may or may not have done that as well. So they basically just become door to door salesmen for potions, and she almost gets eaten by a doorbell because, of course, she almost gets eaten by a doorbell. And she's upset because she felt like being the only human on this magical world, she would be special and she would have quests and things to do immediately. But, and it is a hard lesson to learn, Luce. No one is inherently special. It's your actions that make you special. And even being on a fantasy world doesn't really change that. Where you are doesn't make someone special. It's what you do with where you are that makes you special. And she really shouldn't be comparing herself to Azora, the book character, but that's her hero question mark, the thing she's striving for. So I guess. Also, King probably has the best line in the episode when he says, "Big houses always belong to big whack jobs." And that's been the case in my experience. But yeah, they find this castle and they meet this wizard guy, and immediately he's creepy. He's just like a creep. And Ida didn't give Luce a lot of advice when she left her house, but one of the things she did say was never befriend a guy wearing sandals, and the wizard, wouldn't you know it, is wearing sandals. But even if you weren't, the guy's a creep. And he's like, "Oh, you're the chosen one, right? You might be the chosen one." Like, all the while giving her creeper eye. Like, she's a child. Back up, dude. And obviously she's eating it up because, like, she wants to be special and she believes the world has the potential to be magical. But, he gives her, like, this map to go on this bogus quest. You can tell it's bogus right from the get-go. But obviously Luce can't because she wants it to be real. So he gives her this map. And Ida's like, this is fake, right? And she and King, like the jerks that they are, kind of just laugh in her face. And it had me laughing in her face too. I'm sorry, Luce. I couldn't help myself. They're too charismatic and they're too right. Your naivete is adorable. What can you do? And then Luce isn't discouraged by that, by them telling her the map is fake. She's like, "I'll never know unless I try." And good on you, kid. Also, so like she follows this map, right? And she comes across like this city of like cat people, and like she finds this fountain kid who just sort of rises out of the water with an eye patch and is basically Angst the character. And like she should have known not to trust him. Like, he doesn't bathe in his own home. He doesn't have money for that. He doesn't look like a bird. Why is the guy just bathing in the streets? He comes out of a fountain. That's creepy stuff. Don't trust someone who bathes in bird baths. That just, whatever. But he's wearing an eye patch and has pecs, so obviously. Oh, and he's a prince from the kingdom of like Angston or something like that. It's just Angst, really. His name is Neverith, and I neverith want to see him again. But I don't think I will. So good on you, show. We keep moving forward. That being said, Ida and King chase after her, and demons are confirmed in this world, so that's cool. More confirmed than wizards. They don't say that wizards don't exist, but the wizard she met definitely wasn't one. He was some demon. So yeah, everyone could tell he was a creep, Luce. I'm sorry, you should have picked up on it. But you're a child at heart, and I respect that. I also did like that, like when everything kicks off at the end, right? The wizard reveals himself to be a demon, and he was puppeting all of the people she had met in her journey. That like, and Ida shows up. King is like, I really didn't have to be part of this. You guys both dragged me into your wackiness, and I was just trying to sleep. Literally, the whole episode, King is just trying to sleep. Just let him sleep, people, please. He deserves it. He's cute. Also, the best scene of the episode is when she stabs Neberith. That felt good. But, they make it out of there. Obviously, there's an action sequence. Ida has a heart-to-heart with Luce after eating the demon, which I thought was pretty fun. She has a heart-to-heart with Luce. She takes her up to the sky to show her that the world isn't what she had expected, but it is still magical in its own way. And they show that the Boiling Isles are the remains of a giant titan, like a giant golem type thing. Well, it's not a golem. It's not made of rocks, but it is well, I guess it is, right? It's dirt. I don't know what it is. It's just a giant warrior creature thing. And all the landmass is made of its remains, which is very cool, but brings up a lot of questions, right? First and foremost, are there other giants out there? Are they all walking around just in the world? The ocean, if it is an ocean, is very shallow. What's going on there? The thing is huge, yes, but it doesn't seem long enough to reach the bottom. Was it ever actually alive? I don't know. When they were alive, assuming there was a they, and this isn't the only landmass on the planet, maybe there is actual landmasses out there. I don't know. But when there was a they and they were alive, were they just walking around on a puddle planet? I don't know. But I hope the show answers it. And it's very cool. We're only on episode 2, so I shouldn't expect too much lore stuff right out of the gate. But yeah, man, that's pretty much the whole episode, and it is really a story as old as time, right? Where a young, naive, bright-eyed kid really faces the realities of the world and figures out that, like, well, the world isn't magical in the way I had thought. It can still be magical. I just have to see it in a different way. And there are no shortcuts. Even in magic, there is no just chosen one. There is no just wave your fingers and you become the most powerful being. No, you still have to work at it. And I hope Luce learned that lesson a little bit. She's still bright-eyed and wonderful. So we'll see how that journey translates moving forward. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining me. That's pretty much all I have to say on it. And yeah, see you guys next time. Never trust a guy with sandals. It's just not worth it. It's really not.